not breaking ground within this franchise. You're just going to give us a Terminator movie that's really filled with a bunch of partisan politics and political messages and agenda, and you're not going to probably entertain us very much. Now, I haven't seen the film. I saw the trailer. Everything looked dark. The special effects look bad, but it could be early, and maybe we'll be blown away by this. Or maybe it'll just be another bad Terminator movie.
Nerderotic.com.
Well, who didn't see this one coming? Clap warning, get woke, go broke. And before we talk about the Terminator Dark Flop, which is exactly what it is, if you like what I do here and support independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. That helps me and your favorite YouTuber compete against the giant corporations which YouTube is favoring right now, like Warner Brothers, Fox, ABC, and Variety. And we're going to go to their article right now. Terminator Dark Fate heading for lackluster $27 million launch, and this is a defeat for fake woke marketing, and it's a victory for humanity. Now, unfortunately, this trend isn't going to die out right away, but this is the beginning of the end. And earlier this summer, I made a video, which you already saw a piece of, about Tim Miller's comments at Comic-Con when he said that Terminator will scare misogynists. Well, it scared off ticket buyers. And this is what fake woke marketing does. This is the risk you run. You end up offending people you don't intend to, because we know when Hollywood says toxic masculinity, they just mean masculinity. They just mean men. Some of you may not know that 12 people were involved with the writing of this film. You see 8 right here, but they brought more people in to come up with the concepts. This is from Screen Crush. I read as a part of the development process, you brought in a bunch of sci-fi writers together and had them sit in a room and spitball ideas. And by the way, this is Tim Miller talking. Everybody contributed. I loved all of those guys. It was Greg Bear, Neil Stevenson, Neil Asher, who's just an effing idea factory, and Joe Abercrombie, whose First Law books are my favorite books of all time. Now, your film is the trash politics of Hollywood personified. But let's get to the article. I'm very glad to see Hollywood subverting its own expectations. It makes me so happy. Paramount's Terminator Dark Fate, and by the way, Paramount does not need this. They're in enough trouble as it is falling short of expectations with a projected $27 million opening weekend at 4,086 North American locations. While I am surprised they haven't blamed this on toxic fandom yet, they were trying to do that prior to the film's release. Though the 6th installment of the sci-fi franchise is dominating domestic moviegoing, the results are disappointing given the hefty $185 million cost, which is probably double that due to marketing. Terminator Dark Fate took in $10.6 million on its opening day, including $2.4 million from previews on Halloween night. And it's not dominating anything because the Joker is still hanging in there. Pre-release forecasts for Dark Fate have been in the $40 million range. The film had guaranteed buzz due to it being the first franchise entry since 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, with series creator James Cameron and stars Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger returning. So what could have been the problem? This should have been a guaranteed hit. Do you think possibly the woke marketing and the agenda that they've threw all over this film maybe derailed it? Maybe you derailed your film by alienating half of your audience. I do seem to remember some members of the Access media criticizing toxic fans and blaming them for the problems of Terminator Dark Fate. But as time goes on, we'll probably hear that there were problems with Tim Miller, just like there were problems with Tim Miller on Deadpool. But it won't keep the Access media from blaming us, the fans, and I'm sure we will get that more in the future, right after they mention Terminator fatigue. Oh, they've already done that. Now, this description from Variety sounds a lot different from the film I actually saw. Dark Fate centers on Hamilton's resistance leader, Sarah Connor. When was she leading anything? She was being led around by Carl, the Terminator, who was sending her mysterious text messages with coordinates and the phrase, "For John," every time the Pee-wee 1000 traveled through time, we assume trying to kill the young Danny, although they never mention that in the film. Tim Miller, and it says Deadpool in parentheses, and you better hang on to that, buddy, directed Dark Fate from a screenplay by David S. Goyer. And that really explains a lot. And the only time David S. Goyer has written anything good, it's when Chris Nolan is over his shoulder watching his every move. Justin Rhodes and Billy Ray. New cast members include Mackenzie Davis, Natalia Reyes, and Gabriel Luna as the Pee-wee 1000. Now, there's a little bit of Disney schadenfreude here because Fox did distribute this, or partially distribute it. The Hollywood Reporter says that the film opened with 2.35 million in Thursday previews, which indicates it's on track for a $28 million opening weekend, now a $27 million opening weekend. So what happened? Perhaps fatigue. Now, this is the first excuse we're going to hear. Terminator fatigue, franchise fatigue, but they're not going to mention the obvious, which I will get to later. Early reactions for Dark Fate started off strong. Yeah, when they initially announced it and said Sarah Connor was coming back, but then we all realized it's 2019 and what would follow. But they also started rolling in on October 20th, almost 2 weeks before release. And this is just another excuse. Whenever a film launches its early reactions that early, it can trip some folks up and cause confusion. What causes confusion is killing your hero in the first 2 minutes. That causes confusion. Case in point, it already feels like the conversation around Dark Fate is over, even though it just opened. Not really. It's not over. You know, there was something very coincidental with this film. Its first trailer used the same music as Dark Phoenix, and it's going to have the same Dark Fate, unfortunately. You know what else causes confusion? Saying a film that came out in 2019 is a direct sequel to a film that came out in 1991 when they've had 3 other films between these two. That's a little confusing as well. And again, what happened in the first 2 minutes? And again, what happened within this film? It confuses a lot of people who come to see a Terminator film, which usually has some very pretty, muscly, big, strong, scary people chasing some other people. Yes, this has the most simple plot in the world, and Hollywood can't get it right. Bad robot comes from the future to kill somebody. That's it. That's all it is. And then they run around, and it's supposed to have the best special effects. This is the precedent set by James Cameron, and if you can't do better, you shouldn't bother, because this isn't a franchise like many people have said before. This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger action vehicle, but they made sure to snip the Terminator's balls if he has any. That's what they did. We got a domesticated Arnie in this, and as charming as he was, it was pretty disgusting what they did to his character, and it was very disgusting what they did to John Connor for the sake of agenda. And then we were supposed to buy that a little hobbit is going to lead the resistance. Of course, I said all of this in my review. Sorry if I'm spoiling stuff, but I'm really saving you 2 hours. And if you want to watch this for free on TV, you won't even want to do that. I don't usually drop videos on Saturday afternoons, but I needed to gloat on this one. But I don't mean to gloat over members of the cast or crew. I hope you all got a big, huge payday and the box office doesn't affect you at all. Who I hope this affects is the decision makers, the people who made the conscious decision to replace John Connor with a female and do it in the way you did. You could have just rebooted the franchise and replaced John Connor with a female like they've done with everything else. No, we get these soft reboots where they destroy past characters. They destroy the past. Like I said in my review, Hollywood is Skynet, and they are terminating all of our franchises and shoving their politics down our throat and expecting us to say, thank you, can we please have some more? Look at this here from Deadline, Terminator Dark Fate, James Cameron on rewired franchise, possible new trilogy. You can kiss your new trilogy goodbye. Just focus on your Blue Kitty movie and leave us the hell alone and just make good entertainment. Sure, if you want to put your messages in, that's fine. As long as it's presented well, we will be fine with it. But that's not what's going on here. Stop with the propaganda. And yes, I am very happy that Terminator Dark Fate bombed. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, thanks for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.